Well, it's time, isn't it? You just turn off my ringer here. It's time to talk about the 3 reasons why your foreman doesn't think like a business owner. And you might be surprised to realize why that is. Um, there's 3 subpoints I want to talk about right now. So if you're curious about this and you own a wood shop, we're going to dig in a little bit deep here. Probably only going to take 5 minutes for this. So stay live while I'm going live here. I should make it easy for you to leave a chat though. So go ahead and do that. And I will actually also put a reminder here for people to ask something in the chat. There you go. Look at that little feature that we've got. Look, the very first reason that your foreman doesn't think like a business owner, which is frustrating to us, right? Because we think about it every day, is nobody ever showed them the numbers. And I'm not talking about showing them all of your financials and your profit and loss statement and things like that. As a matter of fact, your P&L and your balance sheet are only part of the important numbers that we need to talk about, but that's completely different. If you want more information on that, go, watch the YouTube channel or the podcast. But most foremen are promoted because they're good on the tools, not because they understand profit or they understand waste or they understand overhead. You just said, look, this person's got a good attitude. They're really good at what they do. I think I can trust them. I know I can trust them. And so let's ask them to be a foreman. And of course, then they become the foreman. But nobody ever showed them the numbers, the real numbers that are important to running the floor properly, the numbers that you need in the office to make the right kind of decisions. So if you've ever broken down where a dollar goes, how can they care about saving time or materials? I tell you, one of the tools that we use, there's a foreman training coming up, actually. And one of the tools that we use in that comes from Jack Stack. Jack Stack, what a great name, right? He wrote a book called The Great Game of Business. And he actually showed me in that book how to break down where a dollar goes and how to explain that in simple terms to my team so they understand. If you just sold a $50,000 millwork package or kitchen, it's not like you walked home with 50 grand, right? Hey guys, don't forget to leave questions in the chat. I'll actually check the chat to see if anybody's got anything in there. It's easy for people to think, well, you just made 50 grand, you just made 75 grand. They don't realize all the overheads and expenses that we have in running a cabinet shop and running a millwork shop and just buying the materials and paying for toilet paper in the bathroom, those crazy things. And so nobody's ever showed them the numbers. This Jack Stack game, where the dollar goes, is actually something that we cover in foreman training, because I want to show you and show your foreman how that conversation goes and how you explain it just in real terms to people that maybe don't understand. So that's going to be an important part for you. So ask yourself, have you ever showed your foreman the numbers? And if you haven't, or if you don't know the numbers, then let me know, or come to the information call for the foreman training. You can find out more there. But if they don't see the scoreboard, how can they play the game? Right? Do you imagine sitting down to your favorite game, whatever it might be? Today's Friday. So let's just say that they were watching the hockey game tonight, the basketball game. There was no scoreboard. What would you say if that wasn't working that night? You'd have some opinions, I'm sure, while you're drinking your favorite beverage in your favorite chair. The other reason, so number one, is nobody showed them the numbers. Number two reason why most foremen don't think like business owners is because they're stuck in doer mode. They're stuck to do, not leader mode. And we need our foremen to be a leader. They walk this really fine line, right? They have to lead and talk about what the office needs to the people in the shop, but they also have to talk about what the people on the shop floor need to the office. That takes leadership skills. And if you and I haven't trained them on leadership, we can't be upset. We can't be frustrated. We can't bang our head against the wall saying, why don't we communicate better between all of our departments? We don't have leaders in place. And for you and I, that's what we do, is we develop leaders, right? We solve problems for people through our business. And in the business, we develop people into leaders and team members. So foremen are doers. That's why they're great on your team. And that's why you earmark that person to be a foreman. And by the way, we're also talking about a sub-assembly lead. You could be talking about somebody in your finishing department who's the finishing lead or the sanding lead, depending on the size of your shop. Your install lead, doesn't matter. Maybe somebody's in charge of your engineering department, still a leader inside your company. And so I would call that a foreman. Don't forget to leave questions in the chat, folks, if you have them. You can also just leave a thumbs up and say you're watching. It'd be nice to hear from you. I'm watching the chat here on the screen. It's my first time ever doing it. So it'd be nice if somebody would leave a message and say, hey, Dom, noticed your hat's on backwards, something like that. The third reason, right, if number one is nobody showed them the numbers, if reason number two is they're stuck in doer mode, stuck in being the person doing it, third reason is nobody gave them permission. And I mean you, didn't give them permission to care about the business. Most foremen think their job is to get the work done. They've maybe never been told, and I'll challenge you on this. you ever told them you're in charge of the flow? You're in charge of the money. You're in charge of the time. Until we tell them that and train them on how, of course, they're going to keep thinking small. Actually, in module 3 of the foreman training that's coming up, we train the foreman on bottlenecks and taking ownership. We've got tools like I was talking about from Jack Stack's great game of business, but eh, all sorts of tools and worksheets and checklists, presentations, how to build a great culture in your business. If you've never shown them how to do that, how do they know how to do that on your team, for you, and with you? So think about that foreman as a leader. And once you've developed that leader to the point where you can step away, you can really start to grow the business. It means you're not stuck on the tools anymore. It means you're not working late. It means you're not stuck always being at the business because you have become the bottleneck. So let's develop that foreman for you. Listen, if you want to be on the foreman training call, it's just an information call. It's 30 minutes long, plus questions if anybody has any. I'm going to go through all of the training pieces inside the Foreman 101 training. If you want to be on that information call, just text me. My number, it's 315-903-7853, and just say Foreman training. And then, as you know, I'll send you the invitation. You have to get invited to get in there. We have to make sure that you're running a wood shop. We just can't have wackos from all over the internet joining us on this thing. So we do have to make sure you've got a legitimate wood shop and that you have a foreman. Now, listen, some of you listening might be your own foreman because you're growing. That's fine. You can be on there as well. I just want you to see what the modules are. What do we cover in foreman and leadership training? And one of the things I've heard in the past from some millwork shops, millwork associations that have been part of these conversations is the nice thing about the information call is it just got the conversation started. There is absolutely no pressure to join. It's just an information call. My goal is for you and your foreman to be in the room together watching the information call, and then to leave the call and get back to me later. Because what I want happening in your shop, on your shop floor, or maybe in the lunchroom, is you and the foreman get together and talk and say, hey, what did we see? Was that important? Is that something we could use? Is now the right time for us? But at least you got the conversation started. How many times have you tried to put something in place and you didn't have what we call buy-in in place from everybody? It's very frustrating. So this is how I'm here to help you get buy-in from the people on your team to help you move the business forward so we can continue to build beautiful things for people, things we're proud of, right? So send me a text, 315-903-7853, and just say Foreman training, and then I'll make sure you're invited to the Foreman training. That's how simple it is. Thanks for checking in, folks. As I said, it's Friday. If you're watching this and it's late, stop working. Stop watching this stuff. If you're watching this and it's the time it is for me here, you're almost off for the day. But thank you very much for checking in. If you like this, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up so that we know that this information is valuable. Once again, I'm going to just repeat those 3 items, the 3 reasons that a foreman doesn't think like a business owner. Number 1, nobody ever showed them the numbers. Number 2, they're stuck in doer mode, not leadership mode. And number 3, no one, and that's you and me, we didn't give them permission to care about the business. So if those 3 things are true in your business, maybe join me on the call or start doing your research. Do something. Do something today to move the business forward. And if that something is joining us for the information call, it's a half an hour. You can see the agenda, heck, recreate it yourself and deliver it as part of your onboarding, whatever you like. But let's get that conversation started inside your business. Thanks for checking in. If you want to be on the call, 315-903-7853, say Foreman Training, and we'll get you on the list. Thanks, folks. We'll talk to you soon.